Hello and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be talking about my first football game back for the season, which was a big one. We had a blackout game. We are crimson and gold, but we got some black jerseys, which are really cool. And we had our first game against a pretty big out of conference rival, Ferris State Bulldogs. They've knocked us out twice, one out of the championship game and once out of the playoffs, I believe. They're kind of a powerhouse in their area up in Michigan. So it was a big game, big home opener. Typically home opener is on Thursday night, but we moved it to Saturday this year. So we had the pep rally Friday night downtown, big game on Saturday at 7 p.m. So with that said, I'm going to be talking about the gear that I used and show you some of the photos that I got, some takeaways and some things that I see that I might need to work on or something I might want to try in the next game. So here we go. All right, so for gear, I ran a 2-camera setup with my normal crossbody dual camera holster. And on one end, I had the R6 with the battery grip and the 300 adapted to it. So it's a 300 f2.8 EF lens that I use the adapter to adapt it to the Canon R6. So on the second camera, which is another Canon R6, no battery grip, I ran the 24-70. I did have the 70-200 in my bag, but I didn't feel the need to have that since I had the 300, and the 24-70 gave me something to use in the end zone, around the huddles, on the sideline, and celebration shots after the game. It also comes in really handy for the coin toss, any pregame stuff to get wide shots of the stadium with the players, which gives me some of my favorite images that I took this weekend. Celebration, pregame stuff, trying to get some wide angles, some really cool flares from maybe the sun, and using the stadium lights to kind of like hone in on a subject. So overall, I feel like for a home opener, this is one of my best games in years in final images. Usually I'm pretty on the low end first game in, trying to get warmed up, remember what you want to work on, what kind of images you want to get. But for this game, I had over 100 final images that I was able to give the school. I really focused on pregame stuff. We have the gorilla walk. We have pregame warm up on the field. We got sideline stuff of players like getting ready or just being in the zone. And then we got coin toss. So I'm working the 24-70 there. A little bit of 300 of, some pregame stuff of drills and stuff. I don't usually shoot a lot of the pregame drills. I'll kind of move around with the wide angle and, mess around there and try to get some cool shots. The clouds were really cool that day, and the lighting was very, very good, being that we were coming up on golden hour and the sunset. So I worked the 24-70 quite a bit before the game and anytime they came in the end zone. And then any game time stuff on the field, I'm shooting with the 300. Typically with the 300, I am shooting 25 to 35 yards ahead of the play. And then once they get to a certain point in the field, usually about the 45 on their side, I go into the end zone so I can shoot anything that's coming my way. So overall, I was shooting the 300 in electronic shutter, so I had that full, I think like 20 FPS, I think it is, because it's not supported in mechanical to get the 12 high speed, so I go electronic. And in that situation, I don't have too much rolling shutter. You could see it in the football occasionally with like a kick or a fast throw, but typically it's perfectly fine. So that worked out the whole game. I got some really great images before we lost the light, and then I had to bump up the ISO once the light went down because we don't have a lot of great lighting on our field, and then dealing with the flicker, so trying to find the right photo in the burst for the action, for it not to have an orange band going through the middle. But overall, I feel like I had some great images and some of my favorite images overall. If you want to see some of those images and want to see them a little longer without having to maybe pause them on the video here while I'm talking about them, check out my Instagram. That is at Gorilla Photog. That's where I post usually just 10 photos from a game, But this one was so good. I did 2 posts. I did a part 1 and a part 2. So there's 2 posts on my Instagram right now from that. Or you can find me on Facebook at Derek Livingston Media. And I think I did like a 20 photo share on there, which might have some images that I didn't use on Instagram. So you can see them a little larger if you're on Facebook. But overall, I think this is one of my best games that I have shot for Pitt State in my almost 4 years of being the freelance photographer for the athletic department. But with all that said, I do have some things that I want to work on. I definitely want to pack the 16 millimeter to get some ultra wide stuff. I feel like occasionally the 24 wasn't as wide as I would like it. So I am going to pack the 16, which is what I'm shooting this video on, and use that for any ultra wide stuff that I want to get, whether that be a huddle or celebration shot into the game where they're, coming together and it's just really packed with a bunch of players. I feel like a 16 would have been really great, especially in the locker room, getting some celebration shots. The 24 is wide, but the 16 would have been really, really nice to kind of get that cool ultra wide look. Other than that, the 300 worked great for how old of a lens that is. The autofocus was spot on. Not very many times did I miss it because the autofocus of the lens was just too slow. Sometimes I just grab the wrong subject, and that is on me, so not the lens. So with that all said and those images shared, if you would like to see them on Instagram, follow me and check me out on there at Gorilla Photog, or find me on Facebook at Derek Livingston Media, and leave a comment down below if you have any questions about any gear or any ideas or any tips to get, to just get better at sports photography. If I can help in any way, I will. I'm still learning and I learn every game. But with that said, I appreciate it if you'd like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.